I wasn't supposed to hear it just outside the bridal suite. A bottle of water in one hand, a folded napkin in the other. I hadn't even knocked yet when her voice slipped through the crack in the door clear, amused, rehearsed. I'm divorcing him once the inheritance clears. I froze. Inside, satin rustled. Makeup brushes clicked. A male voice hummed faintly from speakerphone, too muffled to catch, but her words rang sharp as glass. Worked in Baton Rouge, too. Candela laughed lightly. Kyle's easy. I'll stay just long enough to wrap the trust. Then I'm done. Baby or no baby. I turned slowly, quietly, and walked back down the hallway. Past the floral arch I had personally decorated that morning. Past the table lined with Kyle's childhood photos, the frog in his hands, the mud on his cheeks, that proud grin. I didn't cry, not then. Instead, I found the garden door, dialed our attorney, and whispered into the morning air. Paused the transfer, all of it. The Drayton Trust can wait. And in that moment, clarity replaced heartbreak. This wasn't going to be a wedding. It was going to be an unveiling. And if you want more stories where love and betrayal collide, don't forget to subscribe to Shattered Bonds. Kyle didn't know. Not that morning. Not as he adjusted his tie and asked if the boutonniere looked crooked. Not when he grinned, talking about nursery curtains Candela had picked out. Not when he whispered, I can't wait to feel the baby kick. I only nodded, smoothing the edge of his collar like I had when he was 8 years old, nervous about picture day. My voice didn't shake. You look perfect. But in the bathroom upstairs, I locked the door and let my hands tremble. Quiet. Doesn't mean weak. Quiet means patient. Watchful. I reached out to an old friend in Baton Rouge, now a paralegal at a family law firm. Her report came at 2:41 a.m. 2 past marriages under Candela's name. Both ended quickly. Both left destruction. Behind, one man bankrupt, another stripped of his condo. No children. No lasting ties, just a pattern. The documents Candela had given me to sign confirmed it traps in polished legal language. Designed to turn our trust into marital property, easy to split, easy to vanish. I locked them away, evidence but masks. Always slipped out at dinner one evening. Someone asked Candela if they'd chosen baby names. She smiled, perfectly timed, and said, I like Micah. Silas likes it too. Silas, not Kyle. The table laughed politely when she corrected herself, blaming. Baby brain. But I saw it. The tiny fracture. The truth leaking through Dot later that night. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Marin. Missed call. Again. I didn't unlock it. I didn't need to. I took a single photo of the screen and saved it. Proof? By then, I already had a plan. At the venue, I slipped a small black recorder under the cushion of her suite's love seat. The room's polished walls and high ceilings would carry every word. Hours later, sat in my car under the shade of an oak and pressed play. Her laughter filled the air. Still thinks the baby's his. God, I'm good. Once the trust clears, I'm out. That name should be mine already. I saved the file, copied it to a USB, labeled it with the wedding date, and on the morning of the ceremony, found the sound technician, a young man hunched over wires. Play this when I touch my bracelet. He hesitated, but the check I handed him doubled his rate. No questions, just play. The music swelled soft and sweet as Candela walked the aisle, lilies in her hand, veil trailing behind her. Kyle's face glowed with devotion. The guests rose. I touched my bracelet. The speakers cracked, then her voice, sharp, undeniable, rang out. He still thinks the baby's his. Once the Drayton trust clears, I'm out. That name should be mine already. Gasps rippled. Faces turned. One woman covered her mouth. Another whispered, "Oh my God." Candela froze. Her smile collapsed. "No, that's not MAT," was taken out of context. But the silence pressed heavy. Kyle's eyes darted between me, her, the speakers. His face drained of color. He turned, walked out. Heavy steps, mechanical, Candela chased, veil dragging like a curtain's final act. But security stepped in. He asked for space. One guard said firmly. The bouquet stems cracked in her hands. She looked for allies, found none. The ceremony was over before it began. 3 days later, Kyle appeared at my porch. Tie loose, jacket wrinkled, eyes raw. "You knew?" "Yes." "How long?" "Long enough." "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you would have defended her. You had to see it yourself." He sat beside me, shoulders heavy. "She said the baby was mine. She lied." Silence. Then, softer, "I can't believe I almost signed everything over." "You didn't. That's what matters." We sat in stillness, a mother and son between betrayal and healing. Candela disappeared within the week. No goodbye, no forwarding address. A social media account wiped clean. Word spread quietly, new job out west. New name, same script. Spring crept in like nothing had happened. I cleared wilted flowers from the ceremony arch, turned the soil in the garden. Rosemary thrived again. Kyle visited often, groceries, coffee. Once a lemon balm plant, he insisted I'd raise better than him. We never spoke of her again. Some truths exist only to stop a wedding, not define a life. One evening, we baked an apple pie. He peeled apples. I worked the crust. When it came out golden, he smiled for the first time in weeks. I poured tea, dimmed the kitchen lights, closed the curtains. Let the day end quietly whole, and finally ours. And if you crave more stories, where love hides daggers and silence speaks louder than vows, remember to subscribe to Shattered Bonds. Sometimes the most dangerous lies are whispered at the altar.